And I'm going to start with recognizing we unfortunately lost somebody important in our Fountain Valley family, and I have a proclamation. Our police dog, our Canine Perro, passed away, and what I'd like to do, if it's okay, I'm going to read the proclamation, and then what I'm going to do is, Sergeant Hughes, I'm going to ask you if you wouldn't mind coming up and we'll present this to you. So, City of Fountain Valley proclamation for Canine Perro. Whereas on August 10th, 2024, police service dog Perro passed away at his home in Huntington Beach, surrounded by his family. Canine Perro was a devoted partner to Sergeant Bill Hughes for over 5.5 years at the Fountain Valley Police Department. Whereas Canine Perro was born on September 11th, 2009 in the Netherlands, he completed his advanced training at Alderhurst International in 2012 and was selected to join the Fountain Valley Police Department in 2013. Whereas Canine Perro had served the city of Fountain Valley as a police canine and was assigned to Sergeant Bill Hughes, Canine Perro and Sergeant Bill Hughes developed a strong bond from the onset. During their time together, Canine Perro and Sergeant Hughes were responsible for numerous suspect apprehensions, surrenders, and noteworthy evidence finds. Whereas Canine Perro was not only an exceptional police service dog in the field, but he was also the main attraction at community events such as Shop It With a Cop, Tip a Cop, and National Night Out. Canine Perro retired in January of 2019. Whereas Canine Perro performed his duties with honor, dedication, sacrifice, and valor, his years of service with the city of Fountain Valley have positively impacted the lives of its citizens as well as his co-workers. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Glenn Grandis, on behalf of the Fountain Valley City Council, hereby pay tribute to Canine Perro and honor his contributions to the residents of Fountain Valley and the police officers he worked alongside. Rest in peace, Canine Perro, signed by Glenn Grandis, Mayor, November 5th, 2024. And I'm going to ask Sergeant Hughes if you would come up and say a few words. And then you can see by the back of the room that Canine Perro had some big supporters in the police department. We're going to ask everybody to come up for a photo after.
All right, I'll try and make this quick here. Thanks for joining me on election night out here. Appreciate it. All right, first off, I'd like to thank Mayor Grandis, Vice Mayor Bowie, and the rest of council for having me here tonight. Also, my police department administration, specifically Lieutenant Frahm, for spearheading this for me. I really do appreciate it. I'm honored and humbled to be here this evening to recognize my four-legged partner, PSD or Police Service Dog Perro, for his contribution to the city of Fountain Valley. Thank you to the Fountain Valley Police Department and the city for fulfilling a dream of mine. I knew I wanted to be a canine handler when I was an explorer with the Westminster Police Department at 14 years old. Please allow me a few minutes of your time to highlight some key points in Canine Perro's career. So our canine selection day was September 20th, 2013, the day after my birthday, and also another person's birthday up here. And I got to say that Perro is the most expensive birthday present I have received yet. Thank you very much. During our selection day, it was between Canine Perro and Canine Max, so we get to pick our own dogs. And at the time, retired Chief Child, he was Captain Child at the time, went out with me, and he didn't really like Perro. In fact, I think he said, I don't like him. I don't like him. So anyway, but Perro was, how would you say, in a politically correct way, his drive seemed lower than Max's, but there was something about him. At the time, my son Aiden was almost 2 years old, and he was a big consideration for why I selected Perro based on his demeanor. Come to find out, the dog was just well-trained. That's why he was so mellow and chill. Another deciding factor for me was the fact that he was a multicultural pup. being a black dog from the Netherlands whose commands are in Dutch with the Spanish name, it seemed to check a lot of boxes there, so I figured it was kind of the right thing to do. Hopefully there's no HR in here. After having 3 separate bowel movements in my car the same day I picked him out, I knew it was going to be the start of something great. Funny fact about him, he was born on September 11th, 09, and we were actually considering renaming him to Zero in honor of Ground Zero, but the name didn't really stick. So anyway, we attended the 5-week basic academy. Max was actually selected by a handler out of Salem, Oregon, and he completed the academy. Max was in service in Oregon for 2 months, and one day his handler woke up, and the dog could not move, and they had to medically retire the dog, and he passed away soon after. So you could say Perro was meant to be. Our first night in service was Halloween 2013. During his 5-year career, Perro was a regular at city functions, such as Tip a Cop, National Night Out, Shop with the Cop, and Summerfest. Additionally, Perro would join me when I was teaching classes to students at Fountain Valley High School in their criminal justice class, and an intro to law enforcement at Golden West College. He was always a hit. In 2016, I found a lump on his right rear leg. He was diagnosed with cancer. It was spindle cell sarcoma. The city pulled through again and opted to pay for the surgery that wasn't cheap. After the surgery, he remained cancer-free until he passed away at almost 15 years old. Although he never got the opportunity to be cross-trained in narcotics, Perro was responsible for numerous apprehensions, surrenders, and evidence finds. Now, I just want to highlight a couple of things, and I want to tell you that Fountain Valley is a nice place to live, of course, but sometimes bad things do happen in the city, so I don't want to kind of put a bad connotation on here. So in June of 2014, he had his first apprehension in the city of Huntington Beach. This was a robbery with shots fired. The suspect was in the backyard. There was a helicopter overhead when I got there. The backyard was surrounded, and everybody pointed and said, "There's your guy." At that moment, I realized I had a strong bond with that dog. I knelt down to him, and I said, "Okay, go do your job, buddy. Don't get dead." The stress involved in that apprehension alone probably took 5 years off my life expectancy. In June of 2014, we had a carjacking and attempted murder at Stater Brothers, and he found a key piece of critical evidence discarded by the suspect when he fled on foot that linked him to the crime. In April of 2015, he apprehended a burglary suspect at Rite Aid that resulted in an officer-involved shooting. In June of 2015, he apprehended a double murder suspect in the North Lake of Mile Square Park. This guy was wanted out of Anaheim, and he stabbed his fiancée and 6-month-old baby to death. At that point, we had never trained for a water apprehension, but the dog went in there and did his job. In 2016, we had a shooting at the skating center, and Perro located a buried firearm right where Floor and Decor is now. In 2018, we were on our way to training in Riverside. I saw a couple of officers in foot pursuit of a suspect, and Perro apprehended the suspect. The suspect assaulted, punched, and choked the dog, and he was taken into custody. This story was picked up by AM 640, and it was kind of cool. Got some media attention. He retired in January of 2019 and passed away in August of this year. As all canines do, Perro saved the city thousands of man-hours during searches for people and evidence. Additionally, Perro made this job safer for his human partners in blue, the community we serve, and even the suspects we come into contact with. As a community outreach tool, Perro was amazing. Our furry crime-fighting partners are awesome tools that allow us to build bridges within our community, creating bonds with those who we come into contact with every day. Thank you to my administration and the City Council for continuing to support this vital program. Aside from all of my accomplishments I've mentioned, or all of the accomplishments I've mentioned, which were Perro's, my partner touched me on a deeper level. As a canine handler, we train daily. We put all of our effort and trust into an animal and expect them to perform when the time comes. Sometimes I don't, and that's okay. But I will tell you this, sometimes the dog was right, and we were wrong as humans. And as handlers, there's an old canine saying, trust your dog. Perro didn't know it, but he helped shape me as a father and a leader. He instilled patience in me and taught me to trust those who work with me and for me. And for that, I'll be forever grateful. Thank you for your time, and I'll leave you with a closing thought. Canines lead the way.
Thank you. Sergeant Hughes, could you, would you mind calling up your family? Let's take a photo.
Sure. You guys want to come up? Yeah, Maggie, Aiden. I didn't think I was going to get through that.
I think you have something to say. I do.
Thank you, Counselor, for allowing us to recognize the service of Canine Perro. Thank you. We're going to leave you with a gift from the men and women in blue back there in the city of Fountain Valley. Appreciate all the service that you provided with your partner Perro. I personally was involved with a lot of those incidents that you were talking about, and just an amazing, amazing dog. So thank you very much for just the time and effort that you put into training him, and he gave it twofold to us. So thank you very much.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Can we get all the police officers to come up for a photo? Council? You guys want to join us? Yeah. I appreciate it.
Gents, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Council, come on up here. We have Patrick there, okay.
Perfect. Ready? Sorry. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys all for being so All right, Vice